Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Brightside. These are a few stories on the positive side of the news, if not the bright side. First up, bride and heart recipient walk down the aisle together. This story is going to really pull at your, heartstrings. Casey Wilson, who donated her son Miles' heart, invited 7-year-old Salil, who actually received the heart, to walk her at the wedding during the processional. Soleil actually used the stethoscope so that she could actually hear Miles beating in his chest again. It was a powerful moment of loss, hope, and growth that touched every guest. And it's so neat to see this. And I think that even the smallest of giving it helps out. But to be able to see somebody living because of the fact that their child's heart is in someone else, really has to give you another scope on life, if you will. I mean, it's a great story.
And for people to make the connection and be able to reach out and agree to be a part of her story and continue the story of her son, that was a great moment, Mitch.
Absolutely.
Well, here's a story about an Arizona teen who returns a wallet, then rides away on an e-bike. 14-year-old Cody Chalmers discovered a wallet on his bike ride with $300 inside, and he did not hesitate a moment. He tracked down the owner with mom's help and promptly returned everything intact. The stranger, touched by his integrity, bought him the very electric dirt bike he'd been saving up for. It's the kind of bike that costs nearly $4,000. It even comes from a store that seems to suit his act of kindness, Integrity e-bikes. Cody says honesty isn't just the right call. It pays off in ways bigger than money.
That is so
that
cool.
Right. Yeah.
Those kind of stories are always great. I was at Disney when I was a kid, go figure. And I found a wallet at one of the play areas and returned it, and they actually gave me a free sundae from Disney. So I got something out of that.
And it just says a lot like, somebody's going to need this a lot more than I do.
Yeah.
Here it is. And nowadays, like if you lost your wallet, and if it's got cash in it, there's one thing, but because everything's always on our phone, but it's also the fact when you give it back and the money is still there. Yeah. It's like, hey, I just want you to have that. Great story.
Or 20 missing. Here we go.
Yeah, that's true.
And finally, he could have played it safe, but instead he chose to give of himself. Doug Rutch, diagnosed with terminal prostate cancer, decided to turn his final months into a national volunteer tour. He's called it Dying to Serve and has already visited food banks, senior centers, and soup kitchens in over a dozen states, volunteering in all 50 before he passes.
Wow.
The journey has recharged him. He's raised thousands through a GoFundMe, looped in others to join him, and says the human connections give him happy hormones that feel like they're extending his life. If you need to donate to help Doug along, there's a GoFundMe page set up in his name. So far, it's raised $117,000.
That's cool to hear. I guess it's all perspective, right? Like your motivation to get stuff going. It's all like, he knows that it's when you hear the words terminal cancer, you know where the end is. It's finite. So
and they do say positive vibes will keep you going a little longer. They say you got 6 months and you get 10. At least you got that extra time, but it's because of the positiveness.
Love seeing that. And when you want to forget about your problems, you help somebody else, and it just melts away. There's some of your bright side stories.